Hey, what's up, Coin Fam? I'm Miser, and I make educational videos for coin collectors and coin roll hunters that want to learn how to identify rare and valuable coins in their pocket change. There are plenty of error coins and varieties that are worth collecting or flipping if you know what to look for and have a little luck on your side. In today's video, we're going to talk about a topic that I've been asked to talk about by several viewers. We're talking about quarter errors and quarter varieties that you can easily find in your pocket change. You may even have one of these in your pocket right now. We'll also talk about how much some of these coins are selling for. One of my hobbies is coin roll hunting. Every week I try to get a box of quarters to search through. For the past year, one of the things I've been looking for is the low mintage and highly collectible West Point quarters. You can still find West Point quarters in your change, and for a limited time, you may even be able to find uncirculated West Point quarters like I did just a few weeks ago. W quarters are easy to find because you're just looking for a mint mark. If you look at the front of the coin, to the right of Washington's bust, you'll see either a P for Philadelphia, an S for San Francisco, a D for Denver, or a W for West Point. You want to pull out those West Point quarters. This right here is a 2020 Tallgrass Prairie quarter design minted at the West Point Mint in New York. I've also found several other 2019 and 2020 West Point quarters that I've used as giveaways for my Thursday live stream. West Point quarters are easily selling for $5 to $20, sometimes much more depending on the condition of the quarter. And the price of these quarters is anticipated to continue to go up because there were only 2 million of each of the 5 designs for 2019 and 2020 that were actually minted at West Point. The West Point program is over for now, so don't expect to see any more new W quarters coming out anytime soon. Have you ever found a West Point quarter in circulation? Leave a comment below and let me know. Now let's talk about some coin flaws. The flaws that we're talking about in this video are errors and varieties. Errors are classified as unintentional mistakes or abnormalities made during the striking process. Varieties are intentional or unintentional changes to dies before the coins are struck. A variety can cause the same change to a design to be struck on a few, but usually thousands and thousands of coins. Sometimes, because of die wear, these changes get progressively larger. Let's talk about some of those varieties. Struck-through grease errors occur when grease gets into the die during the minting process. Because of the high pressure needed to mint coins, the compressed grease may prevent some of the design detail from being stamped on the coin. Here are some examples of grease strikes I've found recently. This is the 2005 Kansas quarter. This coin is famous for a struck-through grease variety called In God We Rust. It's called this because in the later stages of strikes for this quarter, the T in trust can't be seen at all due to grease filling the letter T in the die. Here's a grease strike in the early stage of this variety. You can see that the T is only slightly faded because the T hasn't been completely filled with grease yet. This 2005 Denver minted quarter isn't the rust variety, but you can see on the obverse of the coin that grease in the die caused a lack of detail affecting the BER in Liberty, and on the reverse of the coin affecting the 1 in 1861, as well as the field of the coin all the way down to the horn of the bison. Similar to the rust quarter, this is what I'm going to call the big truss variety. This is the 2000 Philadelphia minted New Hampshire quarter. This is another struck-through grease variety. You can see how the last T in truss looks like it's faded. This is because there was enough grease in the die to partially fill the T in the die to prevent a good strike. Also, do you notice anything missing? Can you see the mint mark? I can't make it out with the naked eye, and pictures are hit or miss. With a microscope, though, I can barely make out the P for Philadelphia. Here's the 1999 Philadelphia minted Delaware quarter struck through grease. You've heard me talk about this one before, and we'll talk about it a little later for another type of variety. I can't make out the mint mark on this one with the naked eye, just like the last one, and I can barely make it out under magnification. Here's another good one. This is the 1999 Philadelphia minted Connecticut quarter with a major grease strike around the outer edge of the coin. Take a look at the lack of detail due to the weak strike. The only thing you can see from In God We Trust is the GO in God. This is another grease strike on a 2020 Philadelphia minted tallgrass prairie quarter, and you can still see the grease that caused this variety. That turquoise foreign material that you see, that's the grease. It's unusual for it to remain in a coin throughout the minting process, but it does happen occasionally. This grease affected the strike on the L, A, and R in the word dollar. Prices of grease strikes vary based on each individual coin, but I've seen them on eBay sell for between $5 and $20. I don't have one of these in my collection, but it would be an incredible find. This is another grease strike, but it's unique because of how it happens. This is a 2008 Denver minted Hawaiian quarter. Take a look at the T next to the D in mint mark. Have you ever seen one of those before? How does a T from the word trust drop and become imprinted in a quarter? It's all because of grease. When grease fills a letter on a die, it can occasionally drop out of the die, remain in the shape of the letter, and if the timing is right, it can drop on the next quarter being minted. When this greased letter is pressed suddenly in between tons of pressure, it can become imprinted onto the coin. This one here sold at auction for $780 in 2019. Die chips, cracks, and cuds are other common varieties that can be found on coins. These varieties can occur if the die was intentionally or accidentally scratched, or if the die chips or cracks through its lifespan. And these varieties can happen on any coin. Here are some of the die chips I have in my collection. This is a very common variety on the 2018 Philadelphia minted Block Island quarter. Take a look at the feathers on the back of the bird. Notice what looks like extra metal in between the wings. This isn't really extra metal. This die had a chip in it, so when the quarter was pressed, the metal filled the chip in the die instead of being pressed into the design. This variety right here is selling on eBay for $4 or $5, including shipping. Here's another very common die chip variety. It's not unlikely to find multiple die chips on the 2016 Philadelphia minted Theodore Roosevelt quarter. Some of the most common die chips can be found in the nostril of the horse. This is what the nostril is supposed to look like. Here are some examples of what the nostril looks like with the die chip. Another common location to find a die chip on this quarter is at the back part of the glove on the left hand. This is what the glove looks like without the die chip. And here's what it looks like with the die chip. Take a look at the size of this die chip. And how about this one here? Sometimes die chips start off very small, and as the die deteriorates, the chip gets larger and larger. We're probably looking at some late-stage die chips right here. The third common place for die chips on this quarter is between the hat and the edge of the design. This is what appears to be a very early stage die chip right here in the red circle, and here are some other examples of how this die chip may have progressed. With this many die chips, it makes you wonder about the effectiveness of the quality control process at the Philadelphia Mint. Here are two examples of some late-stage die chips. They can't get much bigger than this, right? These varieties are going for about $6 each, including shipping. On the 2018 Philadelphia Voyagers quarter, there's another relatively common die chip to look for in the area where the side feathers meet the tail feathers. As common as this variety is, you would expect to see more listed on eBay. I was only able to find one recent sale where the best offer was accepted for less than the $3.79 listed price. Now, I haven't spent much time looking for a die chip on the 2014 Philadelphia minted Arches quarter, but I couldn't miss this one here while searching a roll of quarters recently. When it comes to die chips, this is one of the largest you'll see. On the 2008 Philadelphia minted Arizona quarter, there's a die chip known as the Extra Cactus Leaf. If you look at the bottom of the cactus, you'll see the designer's initials. The extra leaf die chip will cover up some or all of the initials depending on the size of the die chip. This variety is brought in up to $8 including postage. That's not a bad deal for something worth 25 cents. Another popular variety is the 2008 Philadelphia minted Alaska quarter. Recent eBay sales have this quarter worth between $1 and $15. Here's what you need to look for. Take a look at the left front claw located on the right side of the coin. The smaller chips can be seen between the fourth and fifth claw. Larger die chips may show across more of the claws. Wow, we've gone through only about half of the material I have for you guys and girls. To find out about more die chips, double dies, spitting horses, snowy roofs, and cracked skulls, click on that video to the right.